Hey everybody, welcome to another unboxing video here on my YouTube channel. And today, just before the end of Ramadan holiday, I got lucky and I took delivery of the last watch that I'm waiting for. And perhaps the last watch that I purchased for a while, because I'm trying to find satisfaction in the ever-growing collection that I do have. And I'm hoping that I've tickled my fancy sufficient to be able to take a break from adding ever more watches to the collection. A quick wristwatch check reveals a watch that I've been wearing since I unboxed it just 3 days ago. And this is the Aragon Dive Master Titanium, and I love it. I love it. I haven't taken it off once. Perhaps maybe one day when I showered I took it off, but another day I showered and I had it on. Anyway, this is very comfortable and I dig it. I really dig it. Keeping super accurate time. It's really, really something. And I don't know, this watch has quickly become a favorite, and I don't recall putting on any other watches since I unboxed this on Monday. All right, so here we have rather modest, small package. I think this is the smallest watch package I have ever received. So without further ado, we're going to tuck in and see what we've got. Now, the title of the video, obviously kills any suspense. And I should say that this is considered an homage. It's a megalith. It's considered an homage to the Tissot, ever popular Tissot PRX, in this case Chronograph. So what do we have here? How to adjust your watch band. Okay, that's always important, because I'm sure I'll need to. All right, and we have the tiniest of polishing cloth. That's rather humorous. And what do we have here? I guess information about time setting and chronograph functions. And we have our little link changer tool. That's pretty cool. And here we go. This is the Megalith 8388 chronograph. And it's got a, very heavily 70s styled design to it. Maybe almost Gerald Genta, dare I say. So let's just take off the plastic. So what we have here basically is a 41 millimeter case size. And it is a chronograph. It is quartz. It's 11 millimeters thick, right? And it is obviously not exactly a spitting image to the Tissot PRX, because I believe those subdials are at the 6, 9, and 3 position as opposed to the 12, 9, and 6 position. Also, the pushers are different on the Tissot PRX. Got a little hang tag here. And we have sort of a butterfly clasp. I think Megalith calls it a fold-over clasp with safety, so it's a double button release. Probably have to cut this off. It features 4 different dial color variations. There is black, there is silver, there's I guess there's 5, isn't there? There's a blue, a green, and I got the gray. So while this may look black, it's actually more of a smoke or gunmetal gray. And what you can see here is that we've got the large seconds that moves. which is different from a lot of meca-quartz movements where the large second hand is dedicated to the chronograph function, and maybe there's a small seconds that is running, or in the case of some other meca-quartz movements, there's no small seconds that runs. This is the VD 57, I believe, and of course it's a Seiko movement. Yeah, Seiko VD57. So this is actually the reason why I got the watch, aside from the fact that it is so inexpensive, was because each of the chronographs in my collection, and I think I have, what, 5 or 6 now, they're all a little bit different. In the case of my Citizen ProMaster, it's 1/100th of a second chronograph, which is really nice. My Luminox chronograph with the Swiss Ronda movement is a fairly traditional chronograph with the large seconds, dedicated to the chronograph function, a small second subdial for regular timekeeping. In the case of my Unimatic U3FN, that's I think a VK63 Seiko movement. So that meca-quartz uses the sweeping large second hand for the seconds timekeeping with 2 subdials on that, and one is for the minutes elapsed, and I think the other is the AM/PM 24-hour function. So here we have this integrated link bracelet, which I believe is 26 millimeters in width. It really doesn't serve to discuss what the lug width is, because I can't imagine you would be able to put any other bracelet on there, especially when you see that that's very small. The lugs are quite fat, and there's basically nothing you could put on there, because that's probably only maybe 10 millimeters thickness there. So obviously, this is what you got. This is what you get. It's not going to be like strap friendly for any others. It features 100 meters of water resistance, and it features screw down chronograph pushers, but a push pull for the crown. So that's an interesting little quirk about it. And screw down case back, sapphire crystal, and it's quite nice. It's a very handsome piece. I think it's superior in appearance to the Tissot that it homages. We do have a date function at roughly the 4:30 position, between the 4 and 5 right there. And this is the reason why I wanted this one, because of the chronograph function. So here we give it a start, and you can see at the 12 o'clock we've got 1/10 of a second. Right, every second that hand sweeps around. And we have the seconds at 6 o'clock. That's the elapsed seconds for the chronograph. And you see, meanwhile, that the large second hand continues to tell the time. And then over there at the 9 o'clock, we have the elapsed minutes. And what I really love about this, I should have started this as soon as I pulled it out of the box, because the reset to 0 is very cool, little unique feature. I refer to the subdial at the 12 o'clock. When you stop and reset the chronograph, it takes a while for it to finally reset back to its final position, and I really like that. And also the 6 o'clock subdial, when it resets to its home position, both of those dials, the hands sweep in opposite directions. So that's unique for me. I forgot to mention, I do have a couple more chronographs that have, I would say, less unique, fairly standard sort of features. The Cosmograph is a fairly standard chronograph function, but for the fact that it has a tachymeter or tachymeter on the bezel. What else do I have? I'm trying to remember, but at any rate, this was yeah, something I really wanted. I liked the silver dial, but in the end, I decided to go for this sort of gunmetal gray effect. I thought that would be perhaps a little more legible. For example, in sunlight. I'm not sure if there's any AR coating on this sapphire crystal. It is a flat sapphire crystal, but we do have a polished bezel there. It looks pretty nice, and brushed finishing on the sides and top of the case. There is a chamfered edge there that is polished. So that's a nice little feature there. This bracelet does have sharp edges. I always kind of laugh or snicker to myself when I hear the guys on other channels complaining or whinging about the sharp edges. But my goodness, these are some sharp edges. And we've got push pins, obviously, for adjusting. As the links are so narrow, obviously finding the right fit shouldn't be altogether that hard. Let's put it on the wrist, see what it looks like. Trying to think if so stainless steel, sapphire crystal. This watch right now I think is retailing for approximately $82 on the company's website, and probably something in that neighborhood on AliExpress. I think I bought it on AliExpress and probably took advantage of a discount code or two, because I seem to remember when I paid for the shipping and the customs tax, it still came in less than what it's being sold for on Megalith's site. So you see there the Megalith branding right there. Yeah, it's really nice. Nice wrist roll effect there. So obviously I'll be putting that on social media. We do have a female end link, and there is some articulation of that end link as it attaches to the case, but not a whole lot. The watch sits fairly flat, as you can see. You can see daylight there. And I know that when I adjust this, it'll fit a little bit tighter, but there'll still probably be some daylight there on my 7.5-inch wrist. Okay, let's go ahead and take it off again and reset that chronograph so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so actually this the 12 o'clock stops after 1 minute. I forgot about that, the 12 o'clock subdial. But let's stop it. And then, oops, I forgot to unscrew the B pusher. Okay, so now let's reset it. Make sure I've got the hands there nice and... So you see that 6 o'clock, it just keeps rewinding. Now it's done. And as the first one stopped, let me start this again. I'll let this run for a little bit and then show you what it does when it comes to a stop, because they rotate in opposite directions. So it's just nice to have another little sort of eccentric feature associated with the chronograph. Otherwise, one chronograph is indistinguishable from another. Okay, so I stop and now reset. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. I like that. Okay, guys, thanks for coming out. This Megalith 8388M, I want to say, is, it's a really good deal. You can't beat it. I mean, China's proving every day that they're able to give us quality materials, quality workmanship, pretty decent movements for a price that nobody else can really compete with. And I know that there's probably controversy associated with supporting the Chinese market, but I'm of the opinion that the more we support a market like this, the greater the likelihood that we'll see better working conditions, better labor conditions, and ultimately better products down the pipeline. You have to remember in the US and in Europe, it wasn't such a great place to work, 100 years ago. But obviously, in time, they became much better places for labor, obviously for working conditions, for compensation, etc. So this is one reason why I do support Chinese watchmakers now, particularly when they're trying to forge their own path forward. All right, please drop a like, share, and subscribe, and I will probably begin doing my state of the collection and then individual videos profiling each of the watches in my collection, a little deeper dive, if you will, into what each watch is, what it means to me, its functions, features, etc. Okay, guys, cheers.